And then if I get further invitation, I might come back, depending on your feedback today. Thank you for the host, Shalendra Prabhu, and Ashika Mataji, and for Nama Sankirtan Prabhu, and Sarva Mangala Mataji, and for the other staff that are helping in facilitate this Bhakti Vriksha. This is Point Cook Bhakti Vriksha. No? Amazing to see all of you come on time actually, or relatively on time. Pleasantly surprised, I have to say. But thank you for that punctuality, no? So that we can start promptly, and then we can also end, at a relative suitable time, which is around what 8:45ish, yeah. Okay. So thank you for the introduction. When Prabhu was introducing me, I was looking around to say whom is he introducing. Devotees like to over glorify, other devotees. Probably nowhere not close to what he was actually saying. But anyway, thank you for that introduction. So let's do some Krishna Katha. Hopefully it can be a little bit more participative, rather than didactic from one side. Feel free to ask your questions as we go along. Don't have to wait till the end. I may or may not answer it on the spot, but feel free to ask it. If I have intention to explain to it a little bit later, then I might park it. But feel free to interject at any point in time. If it was a smaller crowd, I would have asked you to introduce yourself. But if I ask all of you to introduce yourself, by that time it will be Mahaprasade Govinde. So maybe, as we go along couple of weeks, I'll try to remember some names. I like to remember names. My name, by the way, is Madhavananda Das. I'm married with one child, he's a teenager. I live in Port Melbourne, close to the temple. Used to live in Caroline Springs some times ago, but I've lived in like 10 places in Melbourne. So I've been in Melbourne for close to 25 years now, actually. So I am originally from Fiji, where Shalendra Prabhu comes from, yeah? Yeah, Fiji, Singapore. So I come from Fiji. I presume all of you come from India. Anybody who's not from India? Yeah. Oh, where you from? Sorry? Mauritius? Okay, what was the laughter for?
She picked up her hand because
Australian born. Australian born. ABCD, yeah? Australian born confused Desi. That's what our kids are. At home they say, Hare Krishna. In school they'll say Hare Krishna, Their tongue is twisted in school, yeah? See with our kids. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita. What you have been doing? How many weeks this Bhakti Vriksha has been going for?
It's been 13 weeks, Prabhuji.
13 weeks, which is 4, 8, 12, 3 months, yeah? 3 months, yeah, fair enough. So, what you have been doing, I don't know. But I have a fair idea what you would have been doing or should have been doing. Basically, it is a journey towards understanding Bhagavad Gita. We call it science of self-realization or journey of self-discovery. What do you call it?
Journey of self-discovery.
Journey of self-discovery. How many of you have discovered yourself by now? No, still not. You are still on the journey. It's quite fascinating topic, yeah. Journey of self-discovery. It takes you 13 weeks to understand who you are, and still you are not convinced who you are. It's like just think, for years and years you know yourself by your name. Then all of a sudden somebody comes from ISKCON and tries to tell you who you are, and you are like, okay, I think I know who I am. It shouldn't take me 13 weeks to figure out who I am, yeah?
Till now we have learned that we are soul, we are not a body.
Yeah, well, it takes lifetime actually. It takes few minutes to understand it here, but it can take few lifetimes to transfer the knowledge from here to here. And this is where Krishna resides. Krishna resides here as well, but the Lord resides in the heart. He's called Makhan Chor, yeah? Why? Because, he likes something that is very soft. And our heart is very hard at the moment, yeah? With all due respect. It's quite filthy place, to be honest. It's quite dirty, filled with lust, greed, anger, ego, pride, envy. All those things are unfortunately residing here. So once we clean it up, and it becomes little softer, then Krishna comes and steals it like Makhan Chor. That's why it's called Makhan Chor. What a thief. So if you want Krishna to steal our heart, then you have to make it soft like butter, and he'll come. And once he steals it, then we fall in love, That's why we don't say stand in love. No, nobody stands in love, yeah? Boy doesn't go to a girl and says, I stand in love before you. No, we fall in love. That's why devotees do downwards, We fall at the feet of Krishna because we are in love, like that, with humility. So, journey of self-discovery is to explain to us little bit intellectually at the beginning, and then once it starts resonating, things start making logical sense. Uh, some confusions are cleared. The fog of illusion is evaporated, dissipated. Then the heart becomes little softer, and things start making sense more metaphysically rather than just not only sentimentally, but with a lot of intellectual understanding. We become, devoted to the Lord. Pravishta karana randrena swanam bhava suroruham dunoti samalam Krishna salilasya yatha sarat. So Srimad Bhagavatam. Pravishta karana randrena. Karana randrena means ears. Pravishta means to enter. So when this Krishna Katha enters through our ear holes, Pravishta Karana Randhrena, Swanam Bhava Suroruham. That bhava of Krishna consciousness, of bhakti, starts arising in our heart. Dhunoti Samalam Krishna. When Krishna Katha enters our ear through our heart, through our ear holes, then Dhunoti Samalam Krishna. Dhunoti means to clean. Dhodete, na? So Dhunoti Samalam Krishna. And who cleanses our heart? Not gyms cleaning, or not some detergent. Dhunoti Samalam Krishna. Krishna himself cleanses our heart. Why? Because we are forcing him to enter our ear holes, and Krishna is forced to enter in our heart. And when Krishna enters our heart, he says, "Oh my God, what a filthy place." हमको नहीं मालूम है, but उसको मालूम है. It's filled with dirt, and then Krishna starts cleansing those dirts, the lust, the anger, the greed. When you invite somebody, you give him a nice place to sit. Yeah. For example, when I was invited here, I was given a nice a seat to sit on, something clean. I chose to sit on the floor. I might sit on the sofa later because I'm going to sitting down later. But for now, I thought I'll start with this. So when we invite somebody home, we give him a nice place to sit. So similarly, when we invite Krishna, especially when we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we are inviting Krishna to sit in our heart. But Krishna comes out of his causeless mercy. But then he finds the place very dirty. And then he starts cleaning himself. Dhanoti Samalam Krishna. Salilasya yatha sarat. Salilasya yatha sarat का मौसम होता है ना. How many of you don't understand Hindi at all? All don't understand Hindi at all? अच्छा.
They prefer Hindi only, Prabhu.
अच्छा. कभी-कभी हिंदी भी बीच में आ जाएगी ना. Like generally I've got the Fiji accent, but we'll try to adapt. So yeah, जो शरद का मौसम होता है ना, so autumnal season. So monsoon में क्या होता है, there is too much of rainfall and everything becomes very muddy and very dirty, especially with deluge of rain. But when autumn rain comes, it is very, very pleasant and very, very soft and very, very not heavy downfall, but it's a very pleasant downfall. And that rain actually clears the muddy water and makes it look little bit more pristine again. So just as the autumn rain cleanses the mud that has been created by the monsoon rain, similarly Krishna Katha cleanses the heart that is muddy and then makes it more sublime. So Prabhupada called Krishna consciousness as a very sublime process. What does sublime mean? No chemistry student, physics, chemistry. We forget. Evaporate, yeah. Well, one part of sublimation is evaporation.
Pure, very clean.
Very clean, yeah.
Pure and becomes pure.
Yeah. So you take, we go to the science lab. You take some dirty water, and then you heat it. It evaporates. It becomes vapor. Then condensation, yeah, through the process of condensation, and then it falls down as rain, which is pure water. So that muddy water becomes pure water through the process of this, which is called sublimation process. So Krishna consciousness is a sublimation process, Prabhupada says, because it cleanses the dirty heart and makes it pure again, as simple as that. And how do we know that our heart is getting purified? Melody khao, khud jan jao. You just have to taste it. No. You take the Krishna Katha, you take the holy name, you eat prasadam, and then you will know that the heart is getting purified. The humility will come in our life. We share knowledge not because we want to prove that the others are wrong. We share knowledge not to impress others. We share knowledge to inspire others. Our knowledge may be incomplete. That is fine. But our knowledge should never be imperfect. Our understanding of anything, including our scriptures, may not be complete. That is fine because we are on the journey for perfection. Yeah? But it should not be imperfect. So whatever we understand should be with clear understanding. And that we apply in our life. And through the application, the purification comes. The purification comes with application. Knowledge is powerful. Application is the strength. Without application, the knowledge is only powerful, which is fair enough. But the application gives us the strength, to go on and on and on and on in Krishna consciousness and bhakti. Yeah? So the question becomes, where do we find all this knowledge? And that comes from Bhagavad Gita. It's a framework that Krishna has given us. Bhagavad Gita has got 18 chapters. It talks about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga, and Ashtanga Yoga for that matter. Yeah? The context of Bhagavad Gita is war, battlefield of Kurukshetra. That is the context. The content is life. It is set at the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The war is imminent between Pandavas and the Kauravas. But the content is about life. You will probably not find more than 10 verses in the entire Bhagavad Gita, which has got 700 verses, that talks about fight, that talks about war. The cover page is about war. But it is talking about another war as well as the physical war that was about to ensue between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. The other battle that it talks about, predominantly, 99% of the time, is the battle that you and I fight on a daily basis. You and I fight battles throughout the day. Isn't that right? We came to Australia looking for greener pasture. What we found here is synthetic grass. We came here looking for better life. What we found here is that katumba roti. Is that what katumba? Yeah, katumba only, right? At least, the frozen ones. Yeah. At least in India, with the dhaba wala, was giving something nicer. Nice pakora, nice roti, nice, shahi paneer. At least it was fresh, or somewhat fresh at least. Yeah. Here it is yesterday's rice, today's fried rice. Because there is no time to cook. Husband is working, wife is working, we don't know, come home from office. Monday we are busy. Nobody wants to go to office on Monday. Hence up, if Monday morning you are like, Jai, I'm going to office to face my boss. Koi bhi nahi milta aisa na? Maybe one or two exclusive ones. But generally, Monday is itself stressful. Then Tuesday we are boiling. Wednesday we are like hot. By Thursday it's like, what do you call that hot that is very hot? Piping hot. By Thursday it's piping hot. By Friday we are fried out. That's why it's called Friday. Because that's the day we are really frying in the office or in the job, yeah? We are fully fried out. Then we think, chalo yaar, abhi to bahut thakaan hai, lekin Bhagavad Gita mein chalte. Thoda sukoon milega. The heart is looking for something else that is not in the office, that is not in the job, that is not in prestige, that is not in position. We have tried all that. Some of us may have accomplished all that as well. We have bought one house, then two houses, then positive gearing, negative gearing, reverse gearing. All kind of gearings are going on. One car, two car, three cars, aham car, like that. So everything is being accomplished, but happiness is elusive. It's like, maza nahi aa raha hai life mein. If anything, घर में है problem, बाहर है problem. आजू बाजू problem ही problem. But everybody is saying, don't worry, be happy. आप कहाँ से happiness लाए, We are just stressed. Agree? No? Am I resonating with you, or is only me who is suffering? So life is very complicated. Somehow or the other we thought, we left India, and we came here and we start thinking, should we have left India? When the visa got approved, we were very happy, very very excited. We'll go to Australia, Melbourne, the most livable city in the world. God knows why. I still haven't figured out why. I don't know. All I find here is houses are too expensive. Interest rate is very high. Even the tomato is very expensive. Fruits you have to think twice before buying. In Woolies and Coles you have to think twice. Mortgage is, most of the money goes in mortgage. Whatever we will save by the time we retire will go to the doctors. So, but we were very excited coming to Melbourne, when we got the visa. And there was all excitement until the time, or maybe the evening before we had to board the flight. Then another kind of sentiment started, dwelling in our hearts to say, oh, I'm going to miss Bunty, I'm going to miss Bubbly, and the jalebi, and the gully ka cricket. कुछ भी हो, धाबे का food was also मजेदार, much better than the flower drum here, the expensive restaurants here. All that, the masala, the fragrance in the earth, mitti se khelna, all those things that we grew up, which our kids have absolutely no idea about. All they know is this. लग रहा है पान खा रहे हैं या मोबाइल देख रहे हैं, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है कर क्या रहे हैं। बस यहीं में उनका फ्रेंडशिप है, यहीं पे स्पोर्ट्स है, यहीं पे दोस्ती है, यहीं पे रिलेशनशिप है, यहीं पे हार्ट ब्रेक है। इट्स ऑल विद इन दैट स्क्वायर बॉक्स। दे आर लुकिंग लाइक दिस। रास्ते पे चलते भी है तो नीचे ताके चलते हैं, नॉट ओनली देम अस एज वेल, बस वहीं नीचे ताके चलते हैं, कान में लगा लेते हैं। It's a struggle to get kids out of the house. Our time it was a struggle to get us back in the house. Mummy would say, if you don't come by 6 o'clock, you are in trouble. Yeah, we are saying to the children, at least at 6 p.m. अभी तो बाहर चले जाओ, थोड़ा तो fresh air ले लो. So the whole life is different, and then God knows what will happen to the next generation. I guess we have got a good estimation of what's going to happen. Health crisis will increase like many folds. Mental stress will increase like many fold. The number one killer in the world today is mental distress. Much more than hunger, much more than heartbreak. Stress. Because people are just stressed. Stressed inside the job, inside the office, stressed outside, stressed in the house, stressed in the relationship. Financial stress. House stress. Family stress. Friendship stress. Relationship stress. Health stress. Job stress. Children stress, spouse stress, parents stress, in-laws stress, neighbors stress. Just stress from every single angle, including our own self, mental stress, natural disasters. So many things are just bombarding us with problems, and somewhere we want to find happiness. And that's when we tend towards something that is spiritual. Hopefully in there we'll find some solace. Arjun was saying, he was caught between two battles. Two dharmas he was caught between. The dharma, the Kshatriya dharma and the family dharma. His dharma between his family, which is what he should do to his elders, to his kids, to his kins, to his friends, to his relatives, to his cousins, to his grandparents, to his teacher. One kind of duty he had towards the family. The other duty was towards his military job. He was a military man, police officer. And he had that kind of responsibility as well. And the two came into conflict. And he got completely bewildered. And Krishna therein chose to give him knowledge of wisdom, of decision making, of a paradigm through which you can weave you through when there are conflicts in life, when there are internal battles in life. And the place of battlefield, because to demonstrate, to epitomize that you and I will fight daily battles in our life. A lot of people run away from that battle to the point of even taking extreme measures, such as committing suicide. They can't handle that battle in their life. The daily rate of suicide in the world is phenomenal. Google it up. It's just phenomenal. People taking their life because they can't fight that battle. Not one, but two, but three battles simultaneously sometimes we may be fighting, And Krishna and Arjun had the similar battle, at least between two conflicts: family duty and military duty. And Krishna gave him a paradigm of life, how to weave you out of this complicated life that we may face it time to time. And trust me, sometimes these kind of problems come unexpectedly. Hmm? Problems can be, let's say, couple of types. First problems are those that we anticipate. We know that this problem is going to come, and when it comes, we are able to take the shock little bit better, absorb it. For example, you are driving in Australia on a freeway. You don't expect a pothole, but in India, when we drive, we probably expect a pothole. So when the pothole comes in the Indian roads, we can maneuver through it because we kind of expect it, yeah. So it doesn't jolt us much. But what if you get a pothole on this Princess Freeway? It will probably lose control of the car, to be honest, because we just don't expect it. Yeah. So the expected problem, we can handle it slightly better. The unexpected problem is slightly harder. But if we have got some experience, we may be able to navigate through it. The worst one is when we expecting happiness, in return we get problems. When we retain, we are expecting something nice on this particular day, at this particular time. But the message comes which is devastatingly opposite. That really jolts us. Yeah? Have you experienced all these kind of problems? The unexpected ones, the expected ones, and the converse ones. Yeah? And Lord Ram demonstrates this. He teaches us a lesson in Ramayana as well. Yeah? Lord Ram was not only made jobless, but he was also made homeless in one night. And that too, when there was an expectancy of promotion. The whole city is celebrating, is being decorated because he's going to get promotion the next morning. Not just a simple promotion that you and I may get in the office, of becoming a boss or a manager of some portfolio. He was supposed to be coronated as the Prime Minister of the entire world, the President of Ayodhya. That is the mood. In a minute, things change for him. He becomes jobless, he is no longer to be coronated as the king, and he becomes houseless, homeless. And is sent not only out of his house, but to the point that he cannot even enter somebody else's house. If you in my life, a drastic problem is going to come, and we are kicked out of our job, we at least come home here and find solace there, some rest, to think through what we're going to do next. Now, what if you have lost job, touch wood never happens, but we have lost job, and then we come home, the bank has also taken our house, bankruptcy, you can't enter your house. At least we will have some friends where we can go to agree to their house for some shelter until we re-engineer our life. Now look at Lord Ram. Lost his job, lost his house, and he cannot even enter somebody else's house. He has to leave the entire country, entire city, and go and live in the forest like a nomad. Now that is problem, isn't it? That is extreme problem. Expecting happiness and extreme result of problems come in our life. This is what I was talking about, the third type of problem. But he shows us in the Ramayana how to handle it, how to change adversities into mercies. Bhakti is the art of converting miseries into bliss. And Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to do that. And we'll talk about the Ramayana story later on, when I build up that case study. But for now, just focus on the problems as I was saying. So what I've been saying so far is that Bhagavad Gita is not meant only for Arjuna. Actually, if you understand deeply, Bhagavad Gita was never for Arjuna. Arjuna was a pure devotee of the Lord. He knows philosophy and he knows how to handle life's problem. But Krishna, out of his yoga shakti, bewilders Arjuna, so that Arjuna behaves like you and me, the Kali guides that are going to come in the future. And using Arjuna as an instrument, he delivers to us, cascades to us a knowledge of wisdom, of how to battle your lives, how to battle the problems when it comes in our life. So Bhagavad Gita is not only something that will give us spirituality, It is not something that will give us bhakti. It will, for sure, those things are there, but it will, at least, if you don't want to take it from a spiritual point of view, take it from a material point of view. It will help you. It has helped me. I'm talking with deep realizations. How it helped me when I've gone through trials and tribulations in my own life. So many people have read Bhagavad Gita. Mahatma Gandhi has read Bhagavad Gita. Bill Clinton has read Bhagavad Gita. Famous celebrities have read Bhagavad Gita because it has helped them. Business people have read Bhagavad Gita because it has helped them to solve or to at least be a guiding beacon in their life from time to time. So use it at that basis. But better off is if you use Bhagavad Gita as a means to attain a divine ecstasy, a transcendental pleasure that it can also give us. And when we attain when we approach Bhagavad Gita with a view to attain a transcendental pleasure, happiness that actually we are searching for, then all the other things will be a byproduct. We'll have material happiness, we will have material prosperity, all those things will be a byproduct. So 700 verses there. How many of you have read Bhagavad Gita to some extent? If not deeply, you've read all 18 chapters already? Anything you want to share? Any realization, anything that struck you, or anything that was helpful, anything like that?
It helps me like how to deal in the day-to-day life, like how to be calm. If something comes up, it just in 1 second or 2 seconds just gone, and then I'm like, okay, calm down. God is with you. It's always like that.
Is there any favorite part that you read when you are in that situation?
Karma Yoga, I love that part. Karma Yoga, it gives me like relief. Okay, it's Karma Yoga. It's all because of karma, what is coming in our life.
Nice. What is your name, Mataji?
Seema.
Seema. Okay. I said I'll try to remember some names. Start with Seema Mataji. My sister's name is Seema. So that one name I won't be able to forget. Okay. So yeah, anything else? Anybody else? Anybody else wants to share anything? Yes? What's your name?
Hema.
Okay, Seema and Hema. Easy to remember. Thank you. Hema means gold, yeah?
Hema is like mountain bhi hai aur Mata ji like hamari.
Yeah, Hema means gold. That's why. So when you say Hema Malini, you know Hema Malini?
Yes.
Favorite sector. So Mala means garland. So Hema Malini means that who wears a garland of gold. And Hema Malini is actually a devotee of God. She chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And she is very, very favorable towards Krishna consciousness. She sponsors a lot of projects. So there you go. So when you get initiated, you can get me Hema Malini Devi Dasi. Okay, Hema.
मैंने रीड किया है लेकिन I'm still trying to digest it, understand करने का try. रीड किया है लेकिन still I'm trying to find it what actually means.
So reading is one thing, studying is another. So that's why I was asking how many of you read Bhagavad Gita. At one day, Krishna willing, you will also study Bhagavad Gita. As Prabhu was saying, Bhakti Shastri is where we study Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti Vriksha is an introduction to, maybe you have to turn that off. Thank you. Bhakti Vriksha is an introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti Shastri is a deeper dive study of Bhagavad Gita. And then we go to Bhakti Vaibhav, which is a deeper dive study of Srimad Bhagavatam. Like that, yeah. So those are your journeys. So that you can do self-discovery. It may take many years to actually realize who we are. That's the journey you have embarked on. Yeah. So Bhagavad Gita talks about. So chapter 1 of a quick overview of Bhagavad Gita, and then we'll do a little bit back to where you will stop from your Bhakti Vriksha days. Yeah. It's 8:05. So chapter 1 about Bhagavad Gita is Arjuna speaks. And he speaks only. Sanjay, Dhritarashtra speaks the first verse. Dharma kshetra kurukshetra sama vyata yutsava mama ka pandavascheva kimakurvarta Sanjay. O Sanjay, Dhritarashtra says, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled at the place of pilgrimage, Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? So that's how Bhagavad Gita opens up with a question. And then pretty much the rest of the chapter, Sanjay tells Dhritarashtra what is Arjuna thinking. And Arjuna is depicted in Bhagavad Gita as the man of confusion. Doesn't know what to do. Initially, when he is confused, he gives Krishna a lot of solutions. He presents to Krishna his problems and also his solutions. We do this, right? When we have problems and we go to somebody, we also try to go with a solution and we want him or her just to confirm that solution. User-friendly solution. And if they say something that is not what we like, then we go and find another person who can confirm, because of course solution malum hai, we think at least. We just want somebody to rub our stamp it so that we feel better. Anybody who disapproves our way of thinking, then we reject that advice. Yeah, that's why it is said in English, be careful whom you give advice. Some people don't need it, some people don't want it, and somebody won't take it. Some people won't take it. So Arjuna comes across like that, a man with problems and solution. And when he puts the problems to Krishna and the solution is well, Krishna remains quiet, completely quiet. There is no waste that Krishna speaks in chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. But therein we also learn another life lesson. As we are saying, Bhagavad Gita is about life. Yeah. What's the life lesson we learn there? When somebody comes to us with their problems, okay, little bit. We can manage the kids. Little bit. Maybe give them gulab jamun. Today is Ekadashi. I used to carry sweets for my son when he was that age. When I was attending Bhakti Riksha, I would just carry some sweets, raisins at least, yeah? Raisins or raisins, something like that, and then just put it in their mouth. They are very happy. Everybody likes to eat, yeah. And when the mouth is full, they can't talk. So I always used to carry a dabbar of some sweets that I would just. It worked for me. At least it worked for him. He would be quite and satisfied. So Krishna Katha was going through his ears, and Krishna Prasadam was going through his mouth. That kept him quiet for 1 hour. Try it out. It is nature of the kids to be talking, unless my mouth is busy. So, what was I saying? So, when somebody comes to us with their problems, be ready to listen. A lot of times we are ready to talk than to listen. Krishna has given 2 ears and 1 mouth. Yeah? So, we should listen twice as much as we speak. But actually, what happens? We speak more than we hear. The moment somebody comes to us with their problems, it's like, I know the solution. उनको solution नहीं चाहिए. They are just looking for empathy, yeah. And as men, we are the worst examples of this. When the wife comes to you with some issues, we are like solution finders. Chalo, iska 1 + 1 is 2. No, this is the process and this is how it gets solved. They don't want that. They just want somebody to be there for 5 minutes and listen to them. Just जो हाँ में हाँ मिला दे माता जी ना देखो men are looking at me like strangers now. ये क्या बोल रहा है? भागवत गीता कथा है कुछ घर का कथा चल रहा है.
It's funny, Prabhuji. Everybody they can go. The wife can go to anyone until the husband doesn't listen.
Yeah.
She will not feel fulfilled.
Correct. And the wife is only looking for the husband's time, right? And क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Empathic listening, yeah. Empathy listening, yeah. That's all they want, correct?
Actually, वैसे भी काफी hot topic चला हुआ है Instagram पर ये. All the reels are coming on this one only that husband should listen to wife.
Husband should listen, yeah.
Because decisions already made.
Decision is already made. अब husband भी बेचारा क्या करे? जिसका हंस का बेन बजता है उसको husband बोलते हैं. तो अब तो बेन तो बजने वाला है. चलो हंस के ही मजा लेते हैं. अंतर क्या करता है? तो बीवी भी खुश, पति भी खुश. उसका शांति होगा, हमारा बेन बच गया. लेकिन at least outcome is positive, ना? तो सुनो. That's why there's a song सुनो ना सुन लो ना.
आजकल रिसेंट एक ये भी चला हुआ है कि बीवी की अगर जैसे कि देखो महाराज दशरथ जी ने बीवी की बात मानी. कोई बात नहीं करने का, चलो ठीक है. आराम से उन्होंने जैसे उनकी जो भी रहा. अब राम भगवान ने भी सीता मैया की बात मानी, चाहे रावण से लड़ना पड़ा, पर रावण ने नहीं मारी. बेचारे को हर साल मरना पड़ रहा है, जलना पड़ रहा है. तो बेटर है कि मान ही लो.
You can lift it.
इससे अच्छा मोदी जी और योगी जी है. Very good take.
You can lift it to another level. The problem starts with Krishna only. The entire world he controls. But he is controlled by Srimati Radharani. Even he is subjugated to the gopis and Srimati Radharani. So problem वहीं से start हुआ, no? Be happy that कोई नया बात नहीं है. So what was I saying all this? Listening. So learn the art of listening. Yeah. Yes.
Robert is his HLS category.
Okay, I thought you were gonna ask about some husband wife question. तो मैंने तो सोचने लगा मैं बोलूँ तो बोलूँ. बात थोड़ी ऊंची लेवल की थी. हाँ पूछो.
So he's listening but वो मान नहीं रहा.
कौन नहीं मान रहा है?
राहुल.
हाँ.
हम नहीं सुधरेंगे.
हाँ हम नहीं सुधरेंगे. Correct. And then you know the outcome of when we don't listen, then the ramifications are quite severe. Yeah. So learn the art of listening. Yeah. 2 years, 1 month. Listen. We should be ready to listen rather than to talk spontaneously. Yeah? So Bhagavad Gita is Krishna demonstrates to us. Let's get back to here. Bhagavad Gita Krishna demonstrates to us how to listen attentively. And eventually when Arjun surrenders to Krishna, Karpanya doso pahata swabhava prichhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yashreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham साधिमाम त्वाम प्रपन्नम. कार्पण्य दोषो पहता स्वभाव. मेरा जो स्वभाव है वो कार्पण्य होगा. आई एम वेरी वाइजली वेरी वीक माइंडेड नाउ. माइजली कार्पण्य दोषो पहता स्वभाव. वैसा मेरा स्वभाव हो गया हो कृष्णा. कार्पण्य दोषो पहता स्वभाव. पृच्छामि तम धर्म. आप बताओ मुझे क्या धर्म है. व्हाट इज माय ड्यूटी. सम मूढ़ा चेता. आई एम मूढ़ा. आई एम फुलिश. नंबर 1. My chetana is completely bewildered. I don't know what is dharma. Which dharma do I follow now? The family dharma or the military dharma? I am not sure. Family dharma tells me to abandon this fight. Military dharma tells me to take my Gandivar and shoot them. I don't know which ones to do. I am confused about my duty. Just as you and I are confused about our duties time to time. Yeah. So sammudha cheta. Prichhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta. Yes shreyasya nishchitam bruhitanme. Nishchitam. With definitive answer you give me. Not 50-50, not shades of grey. No, definitely, categorically tell me, Prichhami, Shreyas, what is Shreyas for me? What is benevolent for me? Tell me very, very conclusively. Why? Why does Krishna has to tell Arjuna? Why does Krishna has to become the advisor? Because Shishyasteham. I'm your student now. Shishyasteham. Sadhimam tvam prapanna. And I'm prapanna. I'm surrendered to you. I'm your student and now I'm surrendering to you. And now you tell me conclusively what should I do. Now this is another life lesson for us. When we are confused and when we know that we are finding solutions out of our ego, that we can solve it, at that point in time, think through, introspect yourself to say maybe this is beyond ourselves to solve it. There are many problems in our life that may be there or may come that is beyond our ability to solve it individually. Accept it. That is kind of humility before taking any extreme measures. When the stress comes, big stresses come, especially family relationships, all those things, yeah. Then it may be beyond our capability to solve it individually. At that point in time, find a mentor, find a guide. Somebody that you can trust. Somebody who may be, who will have the expertise to guide us and weave us through this cobweb of confusion. And Arjuna shows us this, how to surrender prapanna to Krishna. So second life lesson. There is multiple. I'm just speaking as it comes to mind. Yeah, have the humility to seek advice. So when Arjuna does this, then Krishna opens up and starts speaking Bhagavad Gita. So the entire chapter 2 thereafter is a summary of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna talks about Karma Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. All those in chapter 2. A very, very synopsis of the entire wisdom. Then chapter 3, 4 and 5 is about Karma Yoga in detail. Chapter 6 is Ashtanga Yoga in detail. Chapter 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is Bhakti Yoga. And then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 is Jnana Yoga. And then chapter 18 is again a summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So 2 summaries. Chapter 2 and chapter 18. So there are 5 subject matters in Bhagavad Gita. And that's, we'll pick one or couple of subject matters and try to go into deeper in the next few weeks. Yeah. Does anybody know what are the 5 subject matters of Bhagavad Gita? No? Okay. Would you like to know? Okay. So 5 subject matters, yes, you know.
काल प्रकृति ईश्वर
That's 3. Very nice. 3 out of 5 you pass. That's good start. Huh? Okay. So easy way to remember. 3 J's and 2 K's. You have to keep telling it off every time you speak, yeah? So that it doesn't, what do you call it, ripple through the waves of this. So, Jiva, which is the soul, Jagat, which is the material nature, which is Prakriti. We say Mother Nature, yeah? Like that, Prakriti. Jiva, Jagat and Jagadish, which is Bhagavan, which is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Jiva, Jagat and Jagadish. Can you remember the 3 J's? Pretty easy. Yeah? Jiva, the soul, Jagat, the nature, and Jagadish, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jiva, Jagat, Jagadish. And 2 K's, Karma and Kala. Kala means time and Karma means actions and reactions. Yeah. So Jiva, Jagat, Jagadish, Kala and Karma. Now you know 5? Yeah, you can remember? You remember next week? Yes. Okay. So let's start with one of them. We'll park Kala for today. We'll touch base on that later. It's about time. Karma will do in maybe a couple of weeks' time because it's a deep subject matter, and I'm sure you have thousands of questions on that. That's Karma. Let's touch a little bit about Jiva and Jagadish today, yeah, and togetherness as well, and then maybe Jagadish and Jagat at some stage is the third subject matter. Yeah? So let's start with Jiva. Now I know I'm cognizant that you have already touched about the Jiva subject matter in your science of self-realization, journey of self-discovery. But let's just recap it. Very, very, opportune time to recap maybe. Now I have maybe another 10-15 minutes. Time has flown here. So we think that we are human beings on a spiritual journey. That's what we think. That is incorrect. The reality is we are spiritual beings on a human journey. We are soul. That's who we are. That is our constitutional identification. We are soul. Now what is soul? The soul is made up of 3 things. Sat, Chit and Ananda. Satchidananda. These 3 constituents of the soul are spiritual in nature. So soul is spiritual in nature. Why is the soul made up of Sat, Chit, Ananda? Sat means eternal, Chit means knowledgeable, and Ananda means bliss. So we are made up of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Now this is why you won't be surprised that why you intuitively look for happiness. The reason we all look for pleasure, nobody looks for pain. Yeah, चलो भी बैठ के दुख बुलाते हैं, ऐसा तो नहीं करते ना. सभी को सुखी चाहिए ना. The reason we run after happiness is because we are made up of happiness. Our constitutional makeup is of happiness. That's why we naturally search for happiness. But the problem is it doesn't come. The reason it doesn't come, I'll explain in a minute or two, hopefully. Let me just park that part. But let's keep focusing on Jiva. God, who is our original father, how, I'll also park all those things. And I'll explain all this, but I'll just try to focus so that we can the thread today, the gist of the thread. God is made up of 3 things. His constitutional position is made up of 3 things. Anybody knows or wants to guess? Satchidananda, very nice. It was a kind of a tactful question. God is made up of Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat means eternal. Chit means knowledgeable. Ananda means bliss. So Sat, Chit, Ananda, the Lord is made up of. So we are Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke. Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Manasasthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita. Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke. Mamai Amsha Jiva Loke. Jiva. So what is Jiva? Jiva is God's Amsha. You know the word Amsha? No? Like we are Amshas of our parents, we say. Parents will say, Ye Hamara Amsha. Matlab, mera, he's part of me. So part. So we are part of God. So we are actually God. Note this point. We are actually God because we are Sat Chit Ananda. And God is God because He is also Satchit Ananda. Now, what is the difference between Satchitananda of the God and the Satchitananda of the Jiva? I'll repeat so you can get it, so you can think of the answer. It's a very simple answer. We are Satchit Ananda, we are God, right? And Krishna says, Mamai Vamsha Jiva Loke. We are part of Krishna, part of God. And God is Satchit Ananda. So both Satchitananda ho gaya, both God ho gaya. What is the difference?
We are trapped in
Quantity.
material nature.
Huh?
Quantity.
Quantity is the difference. We are part. The answer was in the question itself. Yeah, we are part of God. So we are godly, but we are very minute God. Prabhupada gives the example of. You'll remember the examples as well. You'll remember a lot of things now, yeah? I'll quiz you next week. So Prabhupada gives the example of ocean versus a drop of ocean. Ocean is ocean. The drop of ocean is also ocean. Both is ocean. So qualitatively they are the same, made up of the same saltiness and whatever things are there in the salty water, yeah? But the quantity is different. One is vast ocean, insurmountable, immeasurable. The other one is a small drop. You cannot sail your ship on the drop of ocean, but you can in the ocean. It's so big that if MH137 was to be, drowned in it, you'll never find it. It's so big. But that MH137 in a drop of ocean, it's incomparable, yeah? So you see, so God is Satchidananda, we are Satchidananda, we are just part of Him. And because one part of what is happiness, we naturally look for happiness. Before we discuss why we can't find happiness, let us discuss why God created us in the first place. And before that, let's discuss who created God. And then we'll discuss why He created us. And then we'll discuss why we can't find happiness. That will probably take me to Mahaprasad Govinda. So, who created God? Who knows? We were discussing this last week, I think, I presume, about God. Who is God? How do we know He exists? Who created Him? What is the definition of God? Huh?
No one is not born.
Uh-huh. So the definition of God is somebody who is the original. Where things begin from. So now we are having a little scientific discussion, yeah? You with me or have I lost you? Yeah? So the scientific definition of God is that thing from which everything emanates. Sarva Karana Karanam. Sarva, all, Karana, cause, Karanam, the things that emanate from it. So from that thing, for example, where did we come from? I came from my parents. My parents came from their parents. Their parents came from their parents, and you keep going up. Eventually, when you exhaust that this is the genesis of everything, where there is no further thing above him, that person is called God. Now, theoretically, I'm going to ask you a question. If you don't play with it, then I can concentrate. If you don't mind. So, suppose you find God here. Sarva Karana Karanam, the cause of all causes. And then you find somebody that sits above him. What would you call this person? And what would you call this person? Whom would you call supreme? So suppose you found God. No, listen attentively. No, it's a catchy question. You have found the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. Agreed? That's the definition of God. You found that person, or the thing, or the phenomena, whatever it be. The cause of all causes. Beyond him, you know that there is nothing. And then you go and find this. Somebody who sits above him. What would you call this thing, and what would you call this thing, or person, or phenomena?
Divine consciousness. Origins.
Sarve
Sarva means what?
Like he's the and like he is the one supreme. Like
Supreme God and
after
God?
that,
Okay, who else?
Creator.
My hands are aching quickly.
Creator.
Creator. So what is his creator or his creator?
above and below.
Okay. So who is this? Would he be God or he'll be God?
Part of
Kingmaker.
Huh?
Kingmaker.
Sorry?
Kingmaker.
Kingmaker.
Then part and parcel.
Okay, listen one more time. Attentively. The definition of God is Sarva Karana Karana. The point from which absolutely everything emanates. and nothing can be beyond that thing. That is the definition of God. And then you go and find God. Then you go and find this. What do you call this?
This is also created by that God only, maybe.
So like you're saying these are drops of oceans and then
It shouldn't be
oceans.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like pyramid.
Very, very nice.
Like pyramid.
So when you have found God, finding something above Him is scientifically impossible, because it will break the definition of God. And if you do find Him by, let's say, whatever means, then you know that this was not God, because it fails the definition of God. The definition of God is Sarva Karana Karana. Beyond Him, nothing can possible. And if it's not possible, it is not possible. And if it becomes possible, then that means your discovery was incomplete. That's all. So this is not God, this is God. Very nice. It's like saying, can you see this? Can you see this circle? This Bhagavad Gita that is in a circle. Can you see it? How many of you can see it?
There is no circle.
There's no circle. Really? Then what is this?
Rectangle.
Rectangle? I thought it was a circle. So why do you say it's not a circle?
We don't see it because it's
Depend
not
on-
round and it's not
So
geometrically.
circle has to be around, is it always?
Yeah, geometrically it stays like this.
That's the
The
definition.
definition is the circle.
But what if I say this is circle? Would you accept it?
No.
Why? Because
No, sir.
learned that the shapes.
Geometrically what we call
It's not matching the definition.
What we learned was
it is. Sorry, say it again, lovely.
It is not matching the definition of the
It is not matching the definition of circle. What a beautiful answer. I can call it circle or triangle or rectangle or whatever I might to call it. But the point is, this is always rectangle. Why? Because it matches the definition of rectangle. I can't call this circle. It doesn't match the definition of circle. Similarly, God has got a definition. And what's the definition? Sarva Karana Karana. Cause of all causes. Once we agree with the definition, who fits that definition is another question for another day. Who fits the definition of God? That is another question. We are not talking about a person at the moment. We are talking about a position at the moment. We are talking about a definition at the moment. Yeah. Once we define circle as this, then we can go and search for things to say, okay, this looks circle to me. This doesn't look circle to me. So we are not talking about the objects at the moment. We are talking about definition at the moment. You get the point? I'm trying to hammer in the point that there is a difference between definition and position. For today, just accept the definition of God. Because you may have another person that you may think he is God. I may have another person that I may think is God. A lot of people in India think that some celebrities are God. No, Sachin Tendulkar is God. Now, to agree or disagree with them, we must have a definition of God. So for today, unless you can come up with a better definition, our scriptures give us the definition of God as Sarva Karana Karana, the cause of all causes. That is the ultimate. Nothing above exists. So once we agree with that definition, then we know that nothing beyond Him is possible. So then where did God come from? He self-manifested. Because His cause of His own cause. Because cause of all causes also constitutes the cause of His cause. You get the point? The cause of all causes also embodies the cause of His own cause. So God is self-manifested. And from Him everything manifests. Yes, question?
Yeah, sorry, I must have missed it. But the question is, who defines the definition of the God?
Who defines the definition of God? Definition of God is, of course, given in our Shastras. No? Parasharamuni gives the definition of God. But here we are not talking about Shastras. We are talking about Supreme. We are talking to establish where did we come from? Where did everything come from? The origination of everything. For example, who defines, who is the Supreme Court in Australia?
Prime Minister.
Oh, somebody has decided that is the Supreme Court. What does the Supreme Court mean? Supreme Court means a court above which there is no other courts. You may have your criminal courts, your civil courts, then your judiciary and whatever. Then if things are still not resolved by this stage, ultimately you can take your appeal to the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court's decision is final. There is nothing beyond that which you can then appeal. That's the ultimate decision. Yeah. So like that. Now, who is decided supreme in terms of conflict management, resolution? Well, somebody else. That's the supreme. So here, the focus is not on who has decided the definition of God. We are not talking that here. We are talking about the fact that what is the genesis of everything, creation. Where did things emanate from? Where do we come from? What is my responsibility? To find out what is my responsibility, I also need to know my origination.
Yeah, I understand, but the thing is that there might be a conflict when you say that, oh, the definition is not clear, right?
Yeah.
So first, you gave an example. This is a circle, right?
Yeah.
Everyone agrees to that. Same way, we need to define the definition of the God
Yeah.
so that everyone agrees.
Correct.
So I'm just taking that example
Yeah.
so that we should know what is God, who defines it,
Correct.
and how we can agree to that.
Correct. So definition of God is given in our scriptures.
Okay.
Aishwarasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasya, Jnanas, Vairagyastika, Sannam Bhaga, Itigala. So scriptures tell us what is the definition of origin. When we read Bhagavatam, it tells us about Sarga and Visarga. Where did the primary creation happen and how did the secondary creation happen? And we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Okay.
Yeah? And Parasarvani gives the definition as Aishwarasya, Samagrasya. No? And Bhagavatam tells us that he is the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karana. So there is multiple references in our scriptures that talk about the origination of the everything, including the origination of God. Yeah. So cause of all causes. So then the question. So far we have just agreed on the well. Hopefully we have agreed, or hopefully we have. Let me rephrase. I have tried to explain the definition of God. You agree or not agree? That's your prerogative. Yeah. I don't have a problem if you disagree. It's your choice. But that's the definition that the scriptures give us. And then He is self-manifested. Then the next question is that we are also part of God. Why did He create us? And for that, I might have run out of time, I think. It's 8:30. What do we do? Do you have questions? Yes? Let's take some questions and then I'll pick up from why did He create us if we have time today. If not, then there's always another day. Yeah?
So basically, our creator is Brahma. So Brahma's creator is Vishnu. So we don't have any temples for Brahma. So always we have temples for Vishnu and Krishna and all those things. So in your thing, who is the creator of the humans? So to whom we have to follow?
Oh, it's a long answer. Oh, this has completely hijacked my agenda. Oh, Krishna. Can I give a brief answer for today and a detailed answer later? Yeah. So, as I said, there is primary creation and secondary creation. Yeah. If we say that our creator is Brahma, and then we know that God is the Sarva Karana Karana, and Brahma has been created by somebody. So we have to understand the position of Brahma and the position of God and position of us. We are made up of 24 things. Okay, journey of self-discovery. We are made up of 24 things. We are made up of body, the external us, which is our Prakriti, and that is made up of 24 elements. Panchabhuta, 5 Panchabhuta, 5 Jnana Indriyas, 5 Karma Indriyas, 5 Tanmatras, so that's 20. And then Antakaranas, which is mind, intelligence and false ego, that's 23. And then 24th is the Chitta. Don't worry about if you can't remember all this, I was just giving you a synopsis. Yeah? So we are made up of 24 elements. That is what the body is made up of. The hardware and the software together. But that is not us, that's the point. That is the body. We are the soul. And who made the soul? God, because we are part of Him. We are eternally, fragmentally His part. So we are actually part of God. God has made us. But Lord Brahma gives us the external encasing, the Prakriti. Brahma is in charge of Prakriti. Taking the ingredients from God, He puts different jivas, which is unlimited in nature, into different bodies. It's like there is a SIM card and there is the phone itself. Yeah. So let's say the external phone is created by somebody, but the SIM card comes from Telstra. So the phone, whatever you call it, iPhone, is made up of so many things: the metals, the plastics, the glass, whatever it is. Those are many elements there. But the SIM card is the one that makes it active. So the SIM card comes from Telstra, but the phone comes from some other made in Taiwan, generally in China, yeah, like that. So two different things. So in our case, the SIM card which we are which actually stores all the information. You can change the phone, but at the same SIM card, and you can transport the data into the next phone. Yeah, like that. So that jiva that we are is created by Vishnu, and that encasing that is engaging us at the moment is created by Lord Brahma under the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's Sarga and Visarga, primary and secondary creations. Yeah. So okay. So why no Brahma worship? We'll park that for another day. Let's find out who God is, who are demigods, who we are, and then we'll have that discussion. Yeah. So why did God create us? I'll answer that. Any other question? Sorry. Yes. I'll go there first. Yeah. What's your name?
So, Samir.
Samir.
Sarva Karana Karanam
Yeah.
is Vishnu.
Let's park that for now. Let's also park that for now. Let's just agree. Let's just understand that there's a definition. Who fits that definition? Let's figure that out on another day. Who is Vishnu? Who is Krishna? Who is Ram? Who is Brahma? Who is Shiva? Who is Ganesha? Who is Sachin Tendulkar? Who is Post Baba? Who is everybody? No, we'll figure all that out another day. Is that okay? Because that's a longer discussion. Yeah.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Why Krishna or maybe Arjuna waited for Kurukshetra to happen? Why this scene was not done in the Draupadi restaurant? Why he did not do that then? And that is one question. And second question is during that incident, why there were so many people around, right?
Yeah.
Family as well as husbands.
Yeah.
Why they did not save her and why they waited for Krishna to save her?
Yeah. Which one do I answer first?
Both.
I can answer both first. I can answer one or two first. Let's answer the first question first. Yeah. The first question was that why couldn't they bring the Kurukshetra war forward? Yeah. Why not at the Hastinapur assembly only?
Yeah. Why couldn't they prevent it?
Yeah. Yeah. Krishna does not interfere with our individual choices. He has given us a free will to decide between what we want to do and what we don't want to do. He has given us discriminatory powers and a minute free will to choose A, B, C, or D. Life has got multiple. Life is like a multiple choice. The teacher gives us that independence to choose A, B, C, or D. But if there is only 4 choices, there is no E. Yeah. So the teacher gives us a choice to answer or select the right answer, but the choice is very minute, A, B, C, D only. You can't write anything else. So our life is like that. The Lord gives us that independence to choose A, B, C, D in our life. But within that we choose. He doesn't interfere with any of that. If you circle the right answer, it's a pass, which is pious activity. And if you circle the wrong answer, it's an impious activity. And through that, our karmic bank account operates like that. Yeah. So at what point in time Lord chooses for the Kurukshetra war to happen, that is also his prerogative. In one sense, he doesn't decide when the war happens. The war happens when it happens. It's the situation is actually the other way around from the way you have phrased it. It is not that why couldn't they bring the Kurukshetra war forward and why it happened when it happened. The reality actually is that every single attempt was made for the war not to happen.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But I'm just thinking like Krishna gave this knowledge to him in Kurukshetra.
Yeah.
If he would have been given it before, not just to Arjun, to other Pandavas also,
Yeah.
might be their thinking would have been different in a way.
Yes, I was about to say that before you interjected. To say that Krishna went as Shanti Dut, the peacemaker, to all endeavors to convince Dusashan, Duryodhana and Karna not to fight. So it's not that the knowledge was given to Arjuna only. The knowledge existed. And what to speak of Krishna, even Vidura, who is a very wise minister, made all attempts to convince Duryodhana not to do the wrong things. And Krishna personally went before the almost like the penultimate stage to convince Karna to change sides. Come to the side of pious, and Krishna said, I will actually make sure you become the Prime Minister of Hastinapur. So there's multiple things that I've said if you can resonate with it. One, it is not that Krishna decides when the war happens. It's the other way around. The Lord always wanted the war not to happen. And there were many counselors who were continuously convincing the Kauravas not to get into war. To the point that Krishna said, my Pandavas will be satisfied if you give them a earth where they can poke their needle. That much, give us 5 villages and we'll be happy. And Duryodhana said, I'm not going to give them soil where they can poke their needle. So that kind of extreme situation is reached, then the fight ensued. Now also, out of our humility, accept that the Lord is a better planner than us. He can plan much better than us. So it's okay to ask why did the war not happen before, but it is also better to accept the war happened when it should have happened and try to understand why it happened when it happened. You have kids? Yeah. So, and try to, as an analogy, understand this. When we have children, they do a lot of things that they should do and a lot of naughty things that they should not do. As parents, we don't continuously smack them. No? You rascal, you rascal, you rascal. You know? Sometimes we let them go. Sometimes we retract. Sometimes we let them go. You know? And then an outsider watching is like, Mother, why didn't you smack him before? You could have smacked him way back and not now. It's like, yeah, but there is reasons for things to happen the way they happen sometimes, And we have got that intellectual decision making that happens in the background to say, now I need to tighten him. And now I may let him loose, although we know he's doing something wrong, yeah? If the child we don't smack him every time he's naughty. There's time, place and circumstance when we become fame and we don't become fame. So something like that, as an example to say, we ourselves are like that, we choose the right time. So Krishna also chose the time when he chose. He's God, so he can choose. Okay, I'll park your other question, second question for another day. Let me take some more questions, yeah? But don't forget your question.
Yeah.
And I remember the questions. It was why the others didn't protect Draupadi, including Bhishma Dev, at that point in time. It's a very good question. So can you ask that next time?
Yeah.
Please, don't forget.
What is the karma? Like, its karma is greater than bhakti, or bhakti is greater than karma. So,
It's hard to explain you that until I explain you what karma is and what bhakti is. In karma is one of the 5 subject matters of Bhagavad Gita. So let's park that as well. But in a summary, bhakti is above karma. But having said that, our karma can be bhakti. There is. It's like this. I'll give you an example. Do you work? You married? Children?
yes.
Yeah. Why do you go to job?
Some responsibility and the
Responsibility towards what?
towards to my life.
And
To survive.
yeah, only you?
No, family.
Family, right? So answer this question now. When you go to office to earn money, is that anything at all to do with your family, or is that all to do with job only? Your job life, is that exclusively job life, or is that connected to your family?
Connected.
So which one is bigger? Going to job or looking after your family?
Looking up.
Huh?
Looking up.
No, both are same, no? Both are same at the end of the day. Going to job is looking after the family. You get the point?
Yes.
But going to job when it is not connected to looking after the family is job life. But that job life that is connected with the motive to look after your family is family activity in one sense, in a greater sense, yeah? So karma that is connected to service of Lord is bhakti. Karma that is not connected to serving the Lord is karma. So from a perception, it might look the same. The activity will look the same, but the intention can be different. The intention, the activity of a devotee versus the activity of a non-devotee, externally it might look same, but internally the motive is different. One is to please the Lord, the other one is to please our own selves. So it's not the action that matters, the karma matters. It is the intention that is more important. For example, if I say that Raju broke into the neighbor's house through the window. He broke the window with a brick and entered the neighbor's house. Is that good or bad?
What's the intention?
Yeah, see, now you know. It depends on the intent.
It's bad, but
Huh?
Sentence showing it's bad, but once we come to
Correct.
know the reason, then
So what I gave you was the action only. And to judge on the action only is incomplete. You need to know the intention. No? If the intention was because the house was on fire and you wanted to save the grandmother, that is Nobel Prize winning activity. Yeah? But if the intent was to break into the house to steal something, then that's criminal. So the action is same, breaking into the house through the window with a brick, but the intention is dramatically opposite. You see the point? So action is intention is more important than action, and we'll talk about all this when we talk about karma. Okay, what time do I start?
Can I ask?
I am guided by the Sarva Karana Karanam of the Bhakti Vriksha. Of the Bhakti Vriksha.
The topmost and the topmost.
So when I'm told to stop, I will stop. So maybe you stop at 9 o'clock, is that okay? Yeah. 9 o'clock we stop, then we have prasadam, yeah? Okay. Mataji?
So like you were saying around the intention, so if your job is something which is like a butcher's job or something which is
I can hear them actually. No need for the mic. I can hear. You can hear the question? Yeah. Chalo. Lifestyle that is conducive to our bhakti and for our survival. There is needs. There's four needs in the world at the moment, right? Roti, kapda, makan, and mobile phone. With these four, we can survive. So, certain things are needs, absolute needs. Certain things are functional needs. For example, if you are going to job, then surviving without a car is almost impossible. Surviving without Wi-Fi is impossible. If you're living in Melbourne, you can't live under the shelter in some parks. You need to have a house. So those are, let's say, not some like cars and all those are not absolute need, because if we don't have it, it's not that we will die. That will not happen. But it's a functional need. So we have to accept it, like that. Greed is something that is above and beyond that. There is enough resources in the world for everybody's needs. But there is not enough resources in the world for even one person's greed. See the difference? Enough in the world for everybody's need, not enough even for one person's greed. And greed, why not enough? Because dil hai ki manta nahi. The more you give, the more it wants. So at the moment we are living in a consumer society. Consume. Yeah, that's why we are called consumers. What does consumer mean? Consume and then mar. So the whole propaganda is to make us buy things that we don't need. And you realize this honestly when you move houses. When you move houses, you realize the amount of things that we have that we absolutely don't even need, and we throw away and put it on the road. Yeah. So that's greed. Just buying it, compulsive buy. So that is greed. So it's right. In the interest of time, just need and greed. In terms of that was concept. In terms of correlating it with the Kauravas and the Pandavas, the Kauravas were full of greed. They wanted something that was not theirs to start with. The Hastinapur kingdom sits rightly with the Kauravas, with the Pandavas, because of the way the Vedic lineage works. The eldest gets so and so forth. But not only because of that, the Kauravas were not pious. They were not religious, and power in the hands of irreligious people is exploitation. Power in the hand of Rome people is exploitation. And that's what they wanted the powers for. If they were religious and pious people, Krishna would have given Hastinapur to the Kauravas without any fight at all. But yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever there is a decline in religion, I come to establish the religious principles. So Kauravas didn't deserve it. And Dhritarashtra was playing nepotism. You know what's nepotism? Putting your own in the position undeservingly is nepotism. So he was playing the art of nepotism, which is again a vice, not a virtue. Yeah. On the other hand, you have the Pandavas, who are pure dharmic religious people. They won't do any adharma at all. And power in their hands is what Krishna wanted. So the question becomes, in going to the extent of fighting for it, is that also a sign of greed? And you find the answer in chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna tells Krishna that, oh my Lord, I don't want this kingdom at the cost of losing my family. I don't want this kingdom when it will be bloodshed. I don't want to rule the kingdom which is tainted with blood. What happiness is there, oh my Lord, if I win this kingdom, then the people with whom I want to enjoy the kingdom are not there. It's like us fighting for a house with a brother and killing him. Then later on, it's like, why did I even want this house at the cost of shooting my own brother? Oh Krishna, I don't want this kingdom. And then Arjuna said, what do you speak of this kingdom, oh Krishna? A kingdom that is equivalent or even higher than the kingdom of Indraprastha, of Indra, of Swarga. Even if you give me that, I don't want it. I just want to go and live peacefully in the forest. So you see his extent of no tinge of greed whatsoever. I just don't want it. So it's the other way around. Similar as I was trying to paraphrase Mataji's question, again similar to you. It is not that was there a question is nice, but I'm just trying to rephrase it now, or maybe upside down it, or downside up. It's not that was there a tinge of greed in the Pandavas. It was the other way around to say, why were the Pandavas reluctant to fight for something that was rightfully theirs? And actually, they were reluctant to fight. Arjuna wanted to run away. But Krishna said, you have to fight for particular reasons, which we will discuss as we explore Bhagavad Gita a little later. Yeah. So, short answer to the short answer after the long answer is that there was no tinge of greed in the Pandavas, and Krishna made them fight not because of any other reason apart from the fact that power had to be given to virtuous people so that the kingdom can be happy. And we know from our experience today, when the power is in the hands of rogues and thieves who are the prime ministers of countries, then people like you and I suffer because of interest rate and mortgage and land tax and COVID tax, and my goodness, the amount of bills that we get, electricity, water, telephone, gas, it's just going up and up and up. Why? Because the power is in the hands of the wrong people who are exploiting us. They are happy. They don't have to care about Mughal. But the Praja has to. This is what happens when religion is removed from the kingdom. Which is what would have happened if Duryodhana became the Prime Minister of Hastinapur. And today we have Duryodhana as the Prime Ministers of many countries. And US being a typical example, yeah, of what can happen when the power is in the hands of the wrong person. Like that, yeah. Does that answer your question? I'm gonna park it here. It's almost 9 o'clock and food is hot.
मेरा तो छोटा सा ही है। हाँ छोटे छोटे इतने बड़े बड़े नहीं।
Push over, no?
अभी आपने जब हम स्टार्टिंग में आप जब बता रहे थे तो we were talking about souls and आप बता रहे थे कि भगवान जी थे जो like what we call भगवान जी उनके हम पार्ट हैं like ocean and आपने ocean की drop का एग्जांपल दिया तो जब भगवान जी ने राम जी के रूप में अवतार लिया कृष्ण भगवान के रूप में जब अवतार लिया तो वो पूरा ओशन का ओशन उठ के आ गए
सही करेक्ट या
तो वो ऊपर वाली जगह फिर कोई नहीं था कोई संभाल ही नहीं रहा था क्या मतलब चल क्या रहा था वो
correct yeah so if the ocean is in the Vaikuntha planets, then when they came to the earthly planets, did they create a vacuum there? That's your question, right? Yes. The answer is no, because have you seen your own photos somewhere? Have you taken your own selfie? Yeah. Now, in a material sense, the selfie is different from you. In a material sense, the selfie is different from you. But in another sense, it is same as you, right? What is the difference between you and your selfie? Both is you, but one is physical.
One is life, one is
correct. So, if you can multiply, although you are not God, at least materially speaking, then how can we assume that God cannot multiply?
Okay.
If we have the ability to multiply, then He can also multiply, right? Another definition of God, and just keep adding to the definition now. Now we are broadening it. Definition of God means unlimited. Don't forget this word. Everything about God is unlimited. How much is His power? Unlimited. How much is His beauty? Unlimited. How much is His wealth? Unlimited. How many names do you think God has?
How many?
How many names? Don't answer anybody else. Don't answer anybody. How many names do you think God has?
Unlimited.
Very nice. Now he is listening at 9 o'clock. Unlimited names. Now answer this question. How many forms, Rupa, do you think God has? So everything about God is unlimited, including his Nama, Rupa, Guna and Leela. His Rupa is unlimited. So when Lord Ram comes here, he doesn't take a flight and Ayodhya becomes vacuum. He is there and he is here simultaneously. The Lord can be in every place simultaneously. And there is no place in the entire creation where God doesn't exist. That's how unlimited he is. In the form of Paramatma, he is in every single atom. Vishnu, no? What does Vishnu mean? Vish means the entire creation, Vishwa, Vish. And Anu means atomic. So Vish Anu means that person who is in the Anu of the entire Vishwa is called Vishnu. And that's the power of Vishnu. He is omnipotent, omnipresent, everywhere. So it doesn't, there's no vacuum. He can travel anywhere. And he can become small, he can become big at the same time. Yeah? छोटा था ना? Answer भी छोटा है तो सब Okay. श्रीमद् भागवत गीता की जय. चलो महाप्रसाद.
Prabhu, before that, can you please give Srimad Bhagavatam since there are two people who wants to take them home. So one is Anchal Mataji. If you can give it with your hands, it will have more potency.
Oh, Srimad Bhagavatam, my goodness. No. Srimad Bhagavatam is the best of the scriptures. Why? Because it has got philosophy and pastimes together. Bhagavad Gita has only got philosophy. You will not find here, Krishna is eating butter, or Krishna is running away from Mother Yashoda, or Krishna is lifting Govardhan hill. Krishna is dancing, Krishna is killing demons. You will not find in here. This is only philosophy. It's very, very important, but only philosophy. Here, you have got, which is higher level than Bhagavad Gita, it has got philosophy and pastimes together. The problem is, it's difficult, let's face it, it's difficult to understand our scriptures unless you know the philosophy. And that's why you need somebody to explain the philosophy, right? Somebody who has kind of understood it. And Bhagavatam becomes very, very sweet, very, very addictive. Addictive. If you understand the philosophy and the pastime that happens together. Otherwise, how many times people say, why was Lord Ram running after his wife? Didn't he know where Mother Sita was? It's like that kind of questions. Because you're only looking at the external leela. Internally, you don't know what is Vipralamba Bhava. Vipralamba Bhava, which makes him run after his Mother Sita, like that. So unless we know what's Bhava and what's Vipralamba Bhava, what's Madhurya Bhava, then that leela seems like Lord Ram is an ordinary person. So Bhagavatam teaches us philosophy and leela together. So whoever is buying it, please take the plastics out at least. At least take the plastics out. Don't leave, all of them in the... Take them out of the box. Take the plastic out. Don't leave the Bhagavatam as it is in the plastic. Peel the plastic and then open and then maybe read, 5 minutes a day. And as Prabhu was saying, incidentally, I'm starting a group where I'm reading Bhagavatam with them. Every Wednesdays 8 to 9 p.m. online on Zoom. Anybody can join with any. Sorry,
I'll share the link in the group.
You can share the link. So this Wednesday, incidentally, it's starting. So yeah, anybody can join, and it will be at a faster pace because this much we have to read. Yeah, this much in this lifetime. So start with volume 1. This is canto 1, volume 1. There are so many cantos. So yeah. So
it's very auspicious today, Prabhuji. It's Ekadashi and Bhadra month.
Yeah, there we go.
So
Bhagavatam. This is our lifetime.
Can you please give it just one first canto with your hands?
Who says
so
it?
that
And who else?
And Priyanka Mataji and Mitesh Prabhu.
Please, you have to do that. Give it in your hand, Jessica. Canto 1. Prabhupada will bless you.
Thank you.
If you don't have Bhagavatam, please get this during as soon as you can. Keep it in your house.
Yeah, and especially this month because it's a Bhadra month and it's ending on 18th of September. So before that, if you buy, it is not for $350, it is for $300. Otherwise, it's $350. And the most important thing is your name will be given as a ahuti, as a sacrifice in a yajna which is happening in Nemi Sharanya. So that is very very auspicious to buy to take Krishna in the form of a book in this month. Yeah. If anyone else wants to take, we have one more set. You can take that.
When Krishna left for his abode at the end of Dwapar Yuga, and the question was asked by Sutta Goswami, by sages of Naimisharanya to Sutta Goswami, that when Krishna left for Dwarka, left for his Goloka Vrindavan at the end of Dwapar Yuga, then where can we find Dharma? Where is that place where Krishna is still residing in his another form of avatar? When the Lord wants to take avatar, as himself, as in human form, he comes as Lord Ram and Lord, let's say Lord Krishna. When he wants to come as a fish, then he takes avatar as Matsya. When he wants to come as a mountain, Govardhan, Giriraj. When he wants to come as a name, Nama avatar, then Mahamantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is Krishna himself, no difference. When Krishna wants to come as a book, then this is where he is, in Bhagavata. So Sutta Goswami explains to the sages, that how does that verse start? How does that, does anybody know that verse from Bhagavatam? Clothed Krishna Swadham Upagate. Krishna Swadham Upagate. Krishna has gone to his dham. Krishna Swadham Upagate Dharma Jnana Dibhisa. Dharma and Jnana both have gone with him to Goloka Vrindavan because Krishna has wound up his pastimes. And then Kalo Drishta Krishna Swadham Upagate Dharma Jnana Dibhisa Kalo Drishtam Esha. So Kali Yuga ka Drishta. Vision of Kali Yuga, where can we find Purano Arko Dhunodita. Purana. In this Bhagavad Puran is like that sunrise that is rising in Kali Yuga, where the humanities can find solace from their suffering tribulations of Kali Yuga mentality. So if you want peace in life, if you want some relief from the tortures of mental distress, of trials and tribulations, of struggles, then this is where Dharma is residing. This is where Krishna is residing. So please acquire this, put it in your house. Even if you don't read it, it will give you benefit. Bhagavatam in the house is very beneficial. It gives you that spiritual vibe. Then what to speak of course, opening it, yeah. And then if you're joining, me from Wednesday, then even more reason to buy this, yeah. Okay. चलो ग्रंथ श्री भागवत की जय, श्रीमद् भागवत गीता की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय।
Mahaprasade Govinde.
Just check the right book in the right.
Namo Brahmane Vishnave.